So let me show you a really cool project that I've been working on called Smart Fridge Planner. What it does is it takes the ingredients that are currently in your fridge and then it recommends you recipes based on that. So though very simple, it was a lot of fun to build out and hopefully cut down a lot of time wasted. Essentially, this used to take me like 2 hours a week and now it takes me like less than a minute. So with that being said, I'll walk you through the different modules and how they work and some of the headaches and hurdles I went through. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go through the first module here, which is a Jotform. So Jotform is very similar to any kind of intake form, Google Forms, type form, stuff like that. What you're going to do is you're going to input the ingredients that you currently have in your fridge. Let's say we have tofu and garlic, onion, bok choy to keep it simple, right? We're going to go ahead and submit that and we're going to go ahead and run the module. So I'm going to hit run once and it's going to go ahead and run through these 5 different modules. So currently we went ahead and submitted the form. It's going to create a JSON or a long string of data from that information. It's going to talk to my first agent who's responsible for fetching all those recipes through a database that was set up in Airtable. After that, he's going to return the information in a JSON. It's going to parse the JSON. And the last step here, which is currently in action, is it's going to go ahead and format everything appropriately and send it over to me via email. So in the time it took me to explain that, it is now done. So let's do a dive into what actually was going on, right? So if we look at this, it looks like it went well. So again, form was filled out, nothing crazy. If I take a look here, I can look at my answers that came out in a series of collection and arrays, right? So very simple, nothing crazy. It just tells me that the information was outputted like that. And the next thing it's gonna do is take that same information, it's gonna put it into a JSON string. So same information, just a different language. So essentially I'm going from English into Spanish to keep it very simple. The next thing here is it's going to take that information and it is going to talk to my first agent. So let's go ahead and dive into this one. So as you can see here, it says the first part of the prompt says locate protein and produce items here. If I click this or hover over it, you can see there's a little bit of a heartbeat where it says JSON, create JSON. So that means that is where the data is being pulled. What he's going to do is he's going to cross-reference it with a CSV file that I built out in an Airtable. So I have this pulled up right here. So if we take a look at this, Airtable is essentially a souped up version of Google Sheets or Excel. Honestly, it looks like it at first, but there's so much more that you can do with it. And I believe it's the future. It has an LLM built into it. You can do automations, forms, so many things. So for this example, what I did was I just took the recipes that were near and dear to my heart, and then I dumped all that data in here, so that it has essentially a brain, right? So this is where the information is being pulled. It's going to return 5 recipes. And again, that same raw JSON format. It's going to include the name and email as well. It's going to return a raw JSON. And it is not going to include any code fences, labels, or extra text. So what this means is it's not going to say, hi, Tina, here are your recipes. It's just going to give me the raw recipes in that JSON format that I requested. And of course, it's going to return 5 recipes, email, and first name. So the reason I wrote this prompt to be pretty redundant is that I found through a lot of trial and error that if you sandwich the most important information in the beginning and end, the room for error goes down a lot. So again, I played around with this and I just wanted to make sure that all my information is clean and it always returns a JSON. So that's the way I have set up that prompt. So if we take a look at that response, you can see it through Relevance AI. So here is that response. So if you take a look at it, you can see this is a JSON data type, which looks good. And if we expand this, you will see the same thing here as well. Okay, so that information is there and it matches. If we want to take a look into the prompting of this specific agent, we can take a look at how he's set up. So he is responsible for only finding recipes. Again, One thing I found with building agents is that you have to be very niche and very specific about what they're doing. If this agent is going to be finding recipes and he's going to be Googling, then he's going to be YouTubing, then he's going to be doing this and doing that, he's going to get lost and confused halfway through. So it's really important that when you set up these agents, you give them certain guardrails on what to do and also importantly, what to not do. So what he's supposed to do is he's supposed to look at that CSV file and essentially cross-reference the ingredients. So he's not going to go on ChatGPT, he's not going to go on Google, he's not going to find these recipes on the internet, he's going to stay within his guardrails. So that was built in through the knowledge section here, which is essentially his brain, right? So there's that CSV file. And then if we go back here to prompt and we scroll down, I've also included what not to do. So when he is successful, he knows it's in the JSON format. And when he is not successful and he can't find any recipes that correlate, he's responsible for responding, sorry, no recipes. So he knows I either go through path A or I go through path B. Very, very simple. The next thing here is it's going to take that information and then parse it, right? So again, the way I think of this, it's like going English to Spanish, Spanish to Spanish, Spanish back to English, and then back to English to email, right? In the simplest ways. So this module, all it does is it takes that information that was in that very long JSON string, and it parses it and it puts it back into readable language, right? So it's going to give all those, all that data set collection and value, right? So here it goes back into an array, it goes back into a collection. And lastly, my agent here is responsible for emailing. So again, it's really important for my agents to do only one task so that they don't get confused. So here we can take a look at her and she says the answer, the email has been successfully sent. So if we do a dive into this agent here, you can see that this is the same response that was ran here as well. And then if we look at how she was built, she's responsible for using this template. So with all that being said and done, let's go ahead and check my email to make sure that guy actually was sent. And there it is. So it says, hi Tina, thank you for using Smart Fridge Planner. Here are some recipes that we suggest that you like. So again, super simple, but I hope that this can serve as a time capsule one day for when I add more layers to this, because again, this is like bare bones skeleton, just the basics. But I thought it was really important for me to kind of showcase the steps and hurdles that I went through. So with that being said, I appreciate you watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.